Hello there, and welcome to this week's edition of The Greatest Record Ever Made. I'm Carl Caffarelli, the co-host of This Is Rock and Roll Radio with Dana and Carl, heard every Sunday night from 9 to midnight, right here in Syracuse on Spark, WSPJ 103.3, 93.7 FM, and on the web at sparksyracuse.org. I'm also a writer, and I'm working on a book called The Greatest Record Ever Made, Volume 1, dedicated to the notion that an infinite number of songs can each be the greatest record ever made, as long as they take turns. And, turns, records. That's what they do, by definition. This week's greatest record ever made spotlight falls on the Hollies in a wonderful song called I Can't Let Go. Now, my introduction to the Hollies was another hit in the early 70s, Long, Cool Woman in a Black Dress, which was basically a copy of CCR. It sounded an awful lot like Creedence Clearwater Revival. I know some Hollies fans don't think as much of that song because it doesn't have the harmonies that would generally be considered the hallmark of a great Hollies record. It was my gateway drug to the Hollies, and I still love the song unapologetically. But I would also concede that the stuff that the Hollies did in the 60s is really the prime motherlode of my overwhelming, pervasive, and prevailing affection for the Hollies. I picked up, in the mid-70s, I picked up a budget album called The Very Best of the Hollies that served as really my main primer in the magic and wonder of the Hollies. I knew some more Hollies songs by that time. This is probably about 76 or so, give or take. I already knew Bus Stop and On a Carousel and Carrie Ann, which is not on that Very Best of the Hollies album. But by oldies radio and by an immersion in all things British Invasion, I knew a little bit more about the Hollies than I did when Long Cool Woman in a Black Dress and maybe He Ain't Heavy, He's My Brother were the only Hollies songs that I knew. And then also The Air That I Breathe, which frankly I've never liked and probably never will. But The Very Best of the Hollies introduced me to songs like I Can't Let Go and Look Through Any Window. Pay You Back with Interest. It's just fabulous, fabulous stuff. And I owe a great debt to that record for all the path that it put me on to becoming a big Hollies fan. I Can't Let Go is the Hollies song I chose for representation in my book, The Greatest Record Ever Made. It is just a wonderful record, and I'm going to read you what I have to say about it in the book right now. Oh, I try and I try, but I can't say goodbye. A perfect pop record. There has never been a more exquisitely constructed pop single than I Can't Let Go by the Hollies. It aches with longing, apprehension, and anticipation, soars with possibility, teases a promise of redemption, and hints at a hope that maybe, just maybe, we might actually get the girl when all is said and sung. Harmonies, guitars, love. A perfect pop record? That's selling it short. I Can't Let Go was written by Chip Taylor and Al Gorgoni. Taylor had earlier written the stomping proto-punk smash Wild Thing, and would go on to craft the beautiful Angel of the Morning and Any Way That You Want Me. The song was first recorded by Evie Sands, a terrific American singer who had great success in finding great songs to record and less success in getting those records to radio and retail. Although Sands was the first artist to release versions of I Can't Let Go and Angel of the Morning, her renditions fell victim to record biz battles and shell games, and were outsold by subsequent takes by the Hollies and Merrily Rush, respectively. Evie Sands' version of Any Way That You Want Me did chart, hitting number 56 in Billboard. Evie Sands is still active and still amazing. She has a record out that came out at the end of 2020. It's great. Just step aside from the book. Get Evie Sands' new record. Get it now. Do what your blogger tells you to. The Hollies were capable of capturing sunshine in a bottle. If they'd been just an a cappella group, their harmonies would have been incredible. Add guitar, bass, drums, and the big beat, and they transcend even that. The Hollies' hits and should have been hits were among the very best sounding records of the British Invasion, with their hypnotic vocal blend flying high above the jangle and buzz of a rock and roll paradoxically both raucous and pristine. You want to tick off worthy candidates for the greatest record ever made? Start with a steady dose of the Hollies. Bus Stop, Look Through Any Window, Carrie Ann, I'm Alive, King Midas in Reverse, Have You Ever Loved Somebody, So Lonely, Dear Eloise, On a Carousel, and most especially, I Can't Let Go. Guitars churn and drive. Alan Clark sings for his life and his love. His brother Hollies surround his voice with theirs in pursuit of an impossible goal. A perfect woman who dismisses him as just one of her lovers, and he knows there have been so many others. It's a sad and doomed romance. yet it's delivered with such unerring confidence, such determination and style, that what the hell, you gotta figure the poor guy has a shot with her. She has eyes. She's gotta have ears. If she has a heart, the broken-hearted toy she plays with has a fair chance at winning it. The thought of you gone makes me want to hold on. Belief into action. Action into result. Sounds great to me. Thank you for joining me this week for the greatest record ever made. Next week, hey! The Romantics, What I Like About You. Below you will find options to support and subscribe and tip and get a little bit more information about this book that I am working on and have been working on for so long. The Greatest Record Ever Made, Volume 1. Thank you for joining us here on The Greatest Record Ever Made.